So Montoya on pole, alongside him Michael Schumacher, the 3-times winner here, then Ralf, his 3rd front row start of the year, and David Coulthard, last year's winner. Then it's Kimi Räikkönen and Jarno Trulli. Jenson Button starting 7th ahead of Barrichello in 8th, Nick Heidfeld in 9th, then Mika Salo in the Toyota in 10th again, 2nd race in a row. De La Rosa starting in 11th place, just ahead of Felipe Massa, the Brazilian, starting in 12th. Then it's Irvine in the 2nd Jag, Fisichella in the 1st of the Jordans, and the Honda-powered cars really not performing that well. Down in 15th for Villeneuve as well, and 17th for Panis. McNish starting in 16th place. Frentzen a long way down on Bridgestone tyres that didn't seem to come in too well for him. He starts 18th, Takuma Sato 19th, and then Mark Webber, quite pleased in fact to have got himself ahead of the 2nd Arrows car with his Minardi. And the Pulse is beginning to race. They're setting off on their formation lap now. And let's just see them get away cleanly. Hopefully we don't have any problems getting away. The launch control as a practice start for everybody. A little bit of tyre smoke, but nothing like the old days where we used to see great black lines laid down at the start of the formation lap.
Well, the outcome of this Grand Prix, I hope, will not be decided in the first corner. We have seen too many incidents in the first 2 Grand Prix this year.
Renault looking strong. Flavio Briatore, the team boss at Renault. When Renault ran their own team in the late 70s, early 80s, they were twice winners in Brazil. I wonder if they can come to the fore today. Unlikely unless we have problems for Williams and Ferrari, but reliability is always an issue at this track. Can they get through that first corner safely today? The last couple of cars move into position. The starting light sequence begins. We wait for the start, and it's blast off in Brazil as Montoya now shuts the door on Michael Schumacher, doing what Schumacher normally does, but he hasn't quite shut the door completely. He still gets in front, but he goes wide. Montoya stays on track, side by side, almost contact. They're at it again, these two, and it's Michael Schumacher with the advantage, just ahead of Juan Pablo Montoya.
Cracking start. Michael Schumacher, now Ralf Schumacher's got the, nearly, Montoya blocks and Ralf Schumacher's wing has been knocked off.
It's Montoya's wing. That was Michael blocking Montoya, and he's taken the front wing off the Williams. Trying to listen up.
Copy that, we're ready with you with a front wing and tyres.
Well, last time out it was Michael's front wing
56
that went this time.
56 for the front wing, please. Set 56 front wing.
This time it is on the Williams, and it's Michael getting away. It's Ralf Schumacher in 2nd place, with Jarno Trulli and Jenson Button both getting away well at the start, but Williams with the work to do, and there is the front wing off Montoya's car.
Well, what a start. We thought we would get through the first corner. That was all right. So all of a sudden down into turn 4, that's where the action occurred. And it was this time Michael Schumacher who put a very stern block on Montoya as he got under the braking into turn 4. The result was the wing on Montoya's car is somewhere in the grass.
30 seconds, Carl.
Well, what a shame that it's come to that straight away on the first lap. They got through the first corner safely this time, but these two are going to be hammer and tongs all year. Did somebody go off there? Well, there was a lot of smoke, and look at this, a bit of a move going on. Barrichello here from Kimi Räikkönen. Moved to the inside, and Michael just blocked the access down the inside, and that took off the front wing.
But the question is, did Michael make more than one move? He went down the left of the track, he then came back to the right, which is where Montoya was going. Montoya's allowed to do that, but Michael in theory is not allowed to do that.
Well, I'm sure Michael will argue that he only made the one move to the left, but the timing of that move, that was the key thing. It was as Montoya had a run on him.
Yes, but he moved to the left, but then he moved back to the middle of the track, and that's where the contact took place. It was not on the left of the track, it was in the middle of the track, and therefore that constitutes a second move by Michael Schumacher.
Well, the stewards will be reviewing it, and remember, if he is deemed to have caused an accident, then he could be put 10 places further back on the grid next time out. They can use video evidence, they can analyse it after the race, and here comes Barrichello on the charge, trying to get past Jenson Button now.
I mean, he must have an oily rag in the fuel tank. The progress that Rubens Barrichello has made, 8th in the grid, now up to 5th, and you can see the speed of the Ferrari against that of the Renault ahead of him. Barrichello pushing Button as hard as anybody.
Yeah, and Button got very out of shape just a moment ago. He managed to gather it all together. Michael Schumacher leads here in Brazil after another dramatic opening lap. Ralf Schumacher, his brother, is in second place. Jarno Trulli in third for Renault. Button in fourth, and we ride on board with the man in fifth place. That is Rubens Barrichello. Coulthard behind him, Raikkonen in seventh, Heidfeld eighth, then it's Massa ninth, and Irvine 10th.
But watch for the pass as Barrichello comes up behind Button. They come through this final curve onto the pit straight. He's got the run, he's got the slipstream, he's coming up alongside. Can he do him under brakes? Button will brake late. Barrichello, no, he's not going to do it. Is he going to sneak down? Oh, Jensen, now you gave that one up easy, I do have to say.
Well, he did a bit at the end there, but look at the fans, they love it because their man's on a charge. But as you say, John, the likelihood is they're running that Ferrari relatively light because he seems to have great pace.
Looking good, balance looks good.
In these early laps.
And there we see Barrichello now up into second place.
Yeah, Barrichello's up into second. It's Ferrari 1-2, and look at the fans, they're loving it, they're lapping it up. And here comes the battle further back. Irvine here under pressure from Frentzen. Frentzen going down the inside into turn one. Same engine power.
Go get him.
and Heinz being told to go get him. He's got past the Jaguar of Irvine.
And good racing. Irvine went to the limit in the corner. He did the right thing. He was firm but fair. He allowed Frentzen through. Oh, and a Jordan. And that, I think, is Fisichella.
Yeah, that's Giancarlo Fisichella, who has expired in a cloud of steam, it looked like, rather than smoke. And quite what
the engine has failed in Fisichella's car.
So it looks like, engine-related problems, certainly by the way of that little thing smoking and steaming away. He has a quick look underneath. Let's take a look at when it went.
Just coming out. And this is the infield part of the circuit, so he just pulls off very quickly. Couldn't have done any better. But again, further disappointment for Jordan. Eddie Jordan's birthday on Saturday is not bringing him any further luck this afternoon. So Fisichella's out.
Well, the question is, yes, how much lighter is the car? Michael might be quite happy to let Rubens past at this stage. Presumably Michael Schumacher's car running heavier and have the advantage later on. But you can see Michael's trying hard. He looked the left front there and still missed the apex of turn one. And again, is sliding around quite a lot, that car. And Michael's trying hard, but hasn't got the pace of this man. Here comes Rubens.
Rubens going to pass him down the straight. The crowd have gone absolutely ballistic.
Look at that. As across the line go Trulli and Coulthard. Hasn't quite found a way past yet, but the McLaren looking threatening once more. Both of them having to work a little bit through that fast left-hander. Now building up to... Barrichello in trouble. Oh, Rubens Barrichello. Is it going to be 8 non-finishes in a row here in Brazil? It looks very likely.
I'm not sure that isn't something in the rear suspension. You can see Barrichello's head looking in the mirror, I think trying to get a glimpse, and I suspect, I don't know, but I have a feeling that might be something in the rear suspension has let go because Barrichello's pace suddenly stopped. There's certainly no mechanical signs of any engine problem. No, the suspension looks fine. So maybe it was just something that he is hydraulics or electronics. Those are the two likely areas for trouble for a modern Formula One car.
Oh, what a great shame for the fans who've turned out in their thousands here today to support him. And it's gone wrong so early on in this race. We're only on the 17th lap, and Rubens hasn't finished a race yet this year. Of course, the crash took him out in Australia. Engine let go last time in Malaysia, and now something else has gone wrong. It shouldn't have worked out this way. He's in the 2001 car, John. This one's supposed to be reliable.
And all that hard work is for nothing.
This was Takuma Sato managing to get past Irvine, was it? Or no, or was he trying to get? He's trying to get past De La Rosa that time, and it didn't work again.
I mean, that was scary because he was so close to the Jaguar. There was barely room between them. I don't know why there wasn't contact with the wheels. But again, Sato showing that he's not short in the Bravery Stakes. Dived down the inside, missed his braking on the dirty part of the racetrack. I mean, if they can get this guy, get a handle on him and get him to control his speed, they may have a winner on their hands.
Yeah, he certainly seems to have lots of talent. It just needs taming at this stage. Now Michael Schumacher getting in amongst the back markers, passing Alex Young any moment here, who's getting the blue flags to say, get out of the way, you've got the race leader coming up. So he hopefully will stay to one side of the track here and not do a Jos Verstappen, who took out Montoya at this point last year. This is very keen of Rubens to be running quite so fast on his way back to the pits, waving to the crowd as he does so.
Well, this is the pit lane he's running down, so he's got the grandstand. There's Olivier Panis on the exit of the pit lane on the other side of the racetrack. That car will have to be removed to safety. And this is also, remember, the first race for Ferrari's F2002. That's the designated number of the car. Schumacher comes now. He's going to make the cut into pit lane. He'll come in at racing speed. All of a sudden he'll be on the brakes. There's a signal to the right that says 80 kilometers per hour. Ralf Schumacher, for the first time this afternoon, Ben, is going to take over the lead.
He is indeed. And Mika Salo came in at the same time. You just saw a car ahead. That was Mika Salo coming into the pits. And a brand new set of unscrubbed Bridgestones going on board. Now, how much fuel, how much longer is it going to take to get the fuel in? They're clearing out the side pods. 12.6 seconds. Well, that's pretty much what you'd expect on a single stop for Ferrari. I wonder if Williams will have to put a little less fuel in. Depends if they started any heavier than that. We'll wait and see. 12.6 seconds stationary, and it all looks clean as he comes out. Get through the pit lane exit safely, and out he comes once again. And that's not going to be enough, is it, John? With a gap between the two of them, as you see there, of 23.9 seconds. Ralf is and off goes McNish. Alan McNish in the Toyota has had a spin at turn 4. Trying to listen up on the radio. Oh, and he stalled it.
Has he stalled it?
Oh, no. What a shame for Alan McNish.
Is this going to be a safety car situation?
CDS, Alan, CDS. No driver out.
Stuck in a not very pleasant part of the circuit, a very quick down into turn 4, and look, you can see one of the Minardis came down and tried to get out of the way and actually got onto the dirty part of track.
Meanwhile, Montoya's in the pits. Let me tell you, Juan Pablo Montoya has come into the pits on this, the 43rd lap. This was what happened to Alan McNish. We'll watch to see what happened to... Oh, and it just broke away very viciously as he went into the corner.
Was that the result of his pit stop, or was that something else? Certainly, his rear brake appeared to lock on.
Meanwhile, look, there's Montoya just coming out, 9.6 seconds, so they didn't put as much fuel, didn't have to put as much fuel in as the Ferrari.
McNish trying to... no! Massa's gone off.
Felipe Massa, that is, who's taken off.
Turn 4 as well.
Oh dear, it's all going wrong for him. He was down in 14th position for the Brazilian, and well, has he kept that one running?
In fact, sorry, it's not. I'm still looking at the red sector, which is McNish. Massa's up at turn 5 into Ferradura, and there you see that he's on that high grip. There we look, a battle. Oh, there was a contact there or not?
Oh, this was all very close.
Yes, there was.
And that was with Mark Webber. Mark Webber was battling for position there, trying to get into 14th, and there was contact between them. Now, some more pit stops coming up here. Williams look ready to take Ralf Schumacher in, and Renault are making a pit stop as well. In the pits at the moment is Jarno Trulli. There he is. We can see Jarno now being refueled, and this is crucial in their battle with McLaren. That was a good quick stop for Jarno Trulli, but this is the crucial one. Ralf Schumacher with a 24-second advantage comes in, but surely it won't be enough to get out in front of Micheal. Watch the fuel go on board. 12.5 litres per second. It would take you only 4 seconds to fill up a normal road car with the amount of fuel that goes so quickly into these machines. Out he comes, but Michael's already driving past.
Indeed he is, and also Ralf has to do 50 miles an hour all the way down the pit lane until he gets... Once he makes this descent, then he can get up to speed. But Michael Schumacher has regained. Ralf almost lost it in the pit lane. Michael Schumacher regains the lead as Ralf accelerates down the pit lane, rejoins the track. The gap, probably not a great deal of difference to where it was. In fact, if anything, it's maybe marginally closer than prior to Michael Schumacher making his pit stop.
Yes, I think they've done a good job, but it's Micheal all over this race. It's all about putting those laps together in the mid part of the race, early to mid part, where he's just been flat out the whole time. He never backs off, he doesn't make mistakes, and even when he does, he gets away with them with his reactions and car control, and that is classic Michael Schumacher. It's been a brilliant drive. Into the pits now, Jenson Button. A little bit slow just getting the fuel hose out, but remember that fuel hose weighs about 60 kilograms. It's very, very heavy indeed, but they managed to get it out, and he's back into the race.
Ben, Ralf Schumacher took a calculated 83 litres of fuel as opposed to the 92 for Michael Schumacher as we get back on board with Jarno Trulli.
So how's this going to settle down? The two McLarens, John, still to come in. They haven't stopped, so we're well, they nearly have, because there they are indeed, getting ready to accept one of the McLarens. Coulthard's very quick on this lap, and this could be the opportunity for them to come in and then stay ahead. If they can just put in a couple of quick laps here, they might be able to get themselves out ahead of Jarno Trulli. That's the key.
Coulthard first of the McLarens into the pits. Coulthard also quick on that in lap. You see him come up at 50 miles an hour, 80 kilometers per hour. Seems an interminable amount of time. McLaren choosing to go very, very late and deep into the race. Again, the amount of fuel they have to take on board probably comparable to that of Ralf Schumacher in somewhere in the middle, 80 litres. But here is Jarno Trulli coming back, and Coulthard leaves the pit 10.2 seconds. I think that Jarno Trulli will actually retain his third place. Coulthard's stop, I don't think will be quick enough to see him get back out on track and keep third place. Here comes Trulli. Coulthard in the pit lane.
It's going to be a close one though. Let's watch them as they come down the hill here. There is Coulthard coming out of the pit, and of course
he's got it done.
Yeah, it looks like it, building up to speed, and it looks like Coulthard and McLaren have won this little battle. He's got ahead of the Renaults. What a great piece of work. That's what they've been trying to achieve. But don't forget, Raikkonen is yet to stop. He'll be coming in next time around, and he was right with David, so there could still be quite a battle when Raikkonen rejoins between the two McLaren teammates.
Very close indeed. Great job by both teams. But that 10.2 second stop of Coulthard, I was well convinced it wasn't going to be quick enough, but clearly I was wrong. Now we wait for Kimi Raikkonen to come in for his stop of the afternoon. Raikkonen currently showing in third place. He's some 24 seconds behind Ralf Schumacher, who's 2.7 seconds behind race leader Raikkonen in the pits.
He put in a quick lap the lap before this one, a 16.8. That's one of the quicker laps we've seen from the McLaren so far. So Kimi knows the score. You have to push as hard as possible when you've got some clear air before your pit stop. Now a scrubbed set of Michelins going on board. The fuel hose, 9.4 seconds. This could get him out ahead of David Coulthard.
Yes, half a second, 0.6 of a second faster than Coulthard. So as he makes his way down the pits, so slow, but that's the mandatory speed limit, 50 miles an hour, 80 k's per hour. Now there's the Benetton coming around turn one. There's Raikkonen, second car of those two.
Yeah, that's Coulthard first, of course. Watch out for Coulthard. That's the battle. There's Raikkonen rejoining. There's Coulthard on the outside. This is an important battle between these two, and Raikkonen sensibly slots in behind Coulthard.
And what we thought might be the case, that both McLarens were capable of running marginally faster than both Renaults. The pit stops probably very similar, but the difference was Renault stopped earlier. It gave Raikkonen and Coulthard that opportunity to get a couple of quick laps in to give them that margin.
Yeah, this is where he wants the horsepower.
You are free to use the boost button. You can use the boost button.
Well, you heard it right here on Digital F1. You can use the boost button, Ralf, he's being told, and I'm sure he will, given half a chance.
And I think that relates to just upping the rev limiter rather than having something like a big turbocharger with an extra boost. So Ralf now been given the okay from the pits to go, 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 as Michael Schumacher is only 0.6 of a second. That was across the line. It probably will fluctuate marginally. It's actually more difficult now for Ralf Schumacher running this close to his brother than it was to catch him.
Yes, this is the difficult bit now, running in the dirty air behind the Ferrari. The aerodynamics of his own car messed up effectively and making the car slide around that little bit more. This is why he needs that engine to power him up the hill so well. But don't forget, this new Ferrari engine, it's the first time we've seen this new Ferrari engine in action. It's doing a pretty good job.
I think Ralf Schumacher is going to have only one opportunity to overtake his brother. That will be a long pit straight in front of both the Williams and Ferrari team garages. He must get himself into position. It's so critical down through the Micheal corner. Coming up into turn 13, easy on the brakes, get the turn in right, get the power on, use the grip, use the drive.
Yes, but is he close enough? He's still a long way behind as they climb up the hill. And this is where he needs to be closing, and he's not closing enough. 0.6 of a second last time around. Really now the gap is not so significant. It's more a question of track position as he tries to find a way past.
Michael gets a little bit wide and loose in turn one. Here's a chance for Ralf to pick up the momentum. Ralf maybe didn't quite anticipate it as quickly as he should have done. Michael will know that he was under pressure. He did make a mistake. Watch his head, check the mirrors as they come down into turn 4.
This is great stuff. There's 6.5 years difference between them in age.
Will be effective now. He is right at 18. Last lap.
There is a huge amount of difference in terms of experience. Michael has won 54 Grand Prix and Ralf has won only 4, but he wants to beat his brother. They've always been competitive from their karting days. They still go karting together and they still want to beat each other, and now Ralf has a chance to pass the Ferrari.
In the meantime, Juan Pablo Montoya, also running in fairly clear air, has only one car ahead of him. That's Jenson Button, 8.3 seconds away.
We just want to use the boost limiter to get the real good power on it.
Trying to listen up on the radio a little bit and take a look here on that last lap, John. A little bit of that mistake from Michael Schumacher.
Yeah, again in that turn, misses the apex probably by a good 2 meters. Ralf, you can see how much he gained as he came through, but I think he almost was caught unawares by Michael making that little error.
Montoya has just put in a quick lap, his personal best, but not the fastest lap of the race. It's closed him to within 7.5 seconds of Jenson Button in the battle for 6th, but it's the battle for the lead that we're watching so closely.
And strangely, the gap on that last lap, even in spite of Michael making an error, has widened to back over a second, 1.1 seconds.
Michael Schumacher, though, still has a race on his hands. Oh, and Alex Young has spun yet again from 15th position.
And that's down in just after... yes, it's just the penultimate of those very slow, unpronounceable Brazilian
the
tight
Pico de
corners.
Pato, I think it is, that one. And look at Ralf again, he's got a bit closer.
But Mark Webber once again did a great job. That was the car they were going to have to lap. He was advised by the pits what was coming up. He watched his mirrors, he got off the racing line, out of the way, let these two brothers go at it. They're going at it. You can't get better than this.
It was a good lap last time around from Ralf, and in fact Montoya has just set the fastest first segment time on this next lap as well. So Montoya still flying, trying to close up to Jenson Button. And here we ride on board with Ralf Schumacher. This is where he needs a good exit. This is where, on the power, he's trying to gain a little more momentum and close up to the back of the Ferrari.
And I bet you one thing, Michael Schumacher is probably very relieved to have his brother behind him and not Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yellow flag at turn 1. That's Trulli. Oh, Jarno Trulli, where is the reliability he needed with just
if you can hear me, switch off, please, switch off power.
10 laps to go. Oh, and the Italian
Thank you, mate.
just never seems to have things go his way at all. A great shame. He'd driven a superb race this afternoon.
And at the same time as Trulli sadly retires, Juan Pablo Montoya once again sets... Look, there's the smoke. You can see what happened. Massive engine failure for Jarno Trulli. But this puts Montoya up into 6th place, 4.6 seconds behind Jenson Button.
That's right on board with Montoya. Watch the gap. See if the car we're riding with can close up that little bit more to the Renault ahead. Heading down towards turn 4. High top speed here, then late on the brakes. Oh, and somebody's off in the gravel over there.
It's Raikkonen,
It's
I believe.
Raikkonen's gone off. And look, there he is, Raikkonen, who was running in 4th position. He's gone off out of the race now. Whether that was
His
a problem...
right rear wheel, there's something wobbling in that right rear wheel. You could see as he went across the gravel, it was going this way, left to right, not going. And they're back in the McLaren pits. Shock. But I think there's something with that right rear wheel. If we get a replay of it, we may be able to see something. It certainly did not appear to be moving in a normal fashion.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that, see if we get a replay, but again it's disappointment for McLaren, and Kimi is not going to finish this race. That puts, of course, Button up into 4th place now. Button into 4th, Montoya into 5th, Mika Salo comes up into 6th in a point scoring position, Irvine into 7th as we look at the two leaders.
Ralf gets very close in turn 13. This time he is, you can see visually closer. The stopwatch will tell you the same now. Coming across start-finish line, 0.6 of a second the last lap. The problem is he's not close enough to pick up any aerodynamic draft as he goes into turn 1. All he is doing is just getting closer, but not close enough.
It's the closest he's been across the line at 0.4 seconds as he came across the line that time. Now remember, the yellows that you can see at the top of the screen there are out at the next corner, turn 4. That is where Raikkonen went off just a moment ago, and the battle between Montoya and Button, just 1.3 seconds last time around.
And both drivers are required to go through this segment of the circuit slower than their previous laps.
Oh,
Jacques
Villeneuve pulling off the track. He was running in 8th place, and it's all over for Jacques. So close to seeing the checkered flag. That's a great disappointment. Into the lowering sun now, the vision getting a little harder on that infield section, but Michael just has to get it through here safely to record another victory, the 2nd time he will have won for Ferrari, his 4th victory in all, including the 2 wins he drove for Benetton here in Brazil in the mid-90s, and he has shown everybody how to win a motor race today, committed throughout the entire 71 laps.
Pedro de la Rosa just ahead of these two, but it will not come into play as they come through turn 13 for the final time on a racing lap. But there is not sufficient. Ralf Schumacher, there is no way he can do it.
Michael Schumacher is going to win the 3rd round of the Formula 1 World Championship here at Interlagos in Brazil. The checkered flag waved by Pele from one great sportsman to another. Michael Schumacher takes the victory from Ralf. But let me tell you, the battle on the track still going on between Jenson Button and Juan Pablo Montoya, so we must watch that. This is their last lap still, but the two brothers, Michael Schumacher taking the victory just ahead of his younger brother Ralf, showing him how to do it and Ralph's turn may come another day.
An absolutely outstanding, a brilliant victory for Ferrari, for Michael Schumacher. And look, Jean Todt, he is delighted. We're still waiting for this battle for fourth place to conclude. Button and Montoya right in the middle of the slowest part of the circuit. If we look back to David Coulthard, who's in third place, and he is now assured of his first podium of the year.
His first points of the year,
Michael,
his first finish.
Oh, that was a brilliant drive, Michael. Well done. Well done.
And we actually listening to Ross Brawn there.
Wow, that was a hard piece of work, but you've been fantastic. Really, you've been fantastic. I mean, such an effort for you guys to bring this new car here. I really was worth it. Tell me what happened to Rubens, this poor guy.
We had, I don't want to say on the TV, we had a technical problem. It was unfortunate. He would have been competitive today. But, yeah, we had a technical problem.
Well, there we go. That is, we're so privileged to listen to that conversation. Ross Brawn and Michael Schumacher, and you could hear the delight in Michael's voice there. Just to confirm, Button managed to beat Montoya across the line by 0.6 seconds. So Coulthard third, Button fourth, Montoya fifth, and Mika Salo again getting the Toyota into the points in sixth. Irvine and De La Rosa seventh and eighth ahead of Sato. Villeneuve classified as 10th, with Mark Webber finishing in 11th.
Well, an outstanding, I mean, just a fantastic drive from Michael Schumacher. I think Ross Brawn's congratulations. Ross does not normally go over the top when he congratulates drivers, but he knows this is a drive of the highest quality you will see at any time in the history of Formula One, under pressure pretty much all the way from his own brother. Ralf Schumacher pushed, I believe had the quicker car on the day. But this man, what would have happened to that collision into turn 4 in the first lap? Michael blocked blatantly, then went back to the middle of the road, but Montoya misjudged the braking, clipped the back of the Ferrari. Amazingly, no damage to the Ferrari whatsoever.
The only question mark, I guess, over that first lap with Michael and Montoya. That one will be analysed, of course, and everyone will have a view on it. Michael shutting the door on Montoya, and they took the front wing off his car. But they're the final results after 71 laps, and the gap just half a second between them.
But Ben, we talked about, and it has been talked about, this new ruling. If a driver makes a move which is not satisfactory to the stewards, he could be penalised for the next Grand Prix. We know that they can do something immediately if it is severe enough. If it is as marginal as that one was, they have got the right to bring in Michael Schumacher and Juan Pablo Montoya, look at the tapes again, speak to both the drivers, and if they decide that there was somewhat of an unfair second move from Michael, they could, in theory, penalise him 10 places for the next Grand Prix.
Well, that certainly would make life interesting if that happens, and they do have that opportunity to review the evidence, as you say. I'm sure Montoya not very happy at all after that incident. It certainly looked as though Montoya gave Michael a bit of room off the grid, and I think that he will feel that Michael gave him absolutely no room at all as they headed down towards turn 4, that he already had a run going and that Michael shut the door on him. But that discussion can continue for the moment. You have to say, after that, Michael drove superbly to take the victory here, his 4th win in Brazil, and time for the German national anthem to ring out. Now, the Italian national anthem for Ferrari. The national anthem's played out and the Union flag being hoisted to half-mast as a mark of respect following the passing away of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, yesterday afternoon. The top 3 on the podium, and Michael Schumacher taking the 10 points and the trophy here at Interlagos. His brother alongside him, and David Coulthard coming home in 3rd position.
Ross, just stand there and enjoy it. You're a bit of a wine buff, so enjoy the champagne, the mum champagne, as Michael and Ross really enjoy the relationship between these two people. You know, it's just unbelievable. You rarely see partnerships in any sport or business quite like this one. Well,
we heard on the radio, John, when he was talking to Ross Brawn on that slowing down lap, he said he appreciated the amount of work the team had done. He knew how hard they'd had to work to get that 2002 car. He pushed for it to be here, and it's all been worthwhile.
And we saw just a quick glimpse of Jean Todt on a mobile telephone. One suspected he might be ringing up Luca de Montezemolo, the president of the Ferrari company, just to confirm what Luca will have seen on TV, and no doubt saying, now we've done one race, one victory, we need that second car big time for Barcelona. For Imola,
yes, that's right, next time out. And David Coulthard doing a little samba shimmy up on the podium there. It's great to see a smile on his face at last. It's been such an awful start to the season for him, and at last a little relief, a little happiness for David, and perhaps he can now build on this as the teams come back to Europe for the real heart of the Grand Prix season, starting out at Imola in 2 weeks' time.
And indeed another racetrack which you've said throughout this weekend's broadcast which will favour BMW, Mercedes, BMW particularly, Michelin tyres and the Williams chassis.
Michael, the excitement started right on the run to the first corner between yourself and Juan Pablo Montoya. Can you talk us through what happened at the first corner, the second one and the third, and did you suffer any damage from being hit by Juan Pablo going into turn 3?
First of all, no, obviously. I mean, my car was pretty much perfect until the end. We didn't suffer any little problem. It was an exciting first 2 corner, where I have to say Juan Pablo behaved really well. I mean, in order, I was thinking I could outbrake him in the first corner, but he was braking so late that it was clear that he would almost miss the corner. So I prepared then for turn 2, which then worked actually, and he just left enough space for both of us to go through the corner. And then I don't actually know what happened into turn 4. I moved over to the left to give him free the outside, and I didn't feel anything. I just suddenly saw him dropping back. So may you explain me what happened?